4 decades after their victory, original members Cheryl Baker, Mike Nolan and Jay Aston are still going strong, releasing 3 hit albums under the name The Fizz. Now, as they prepare to head out on a nostalgia-packed tour next month, Cheryl and Mike join me now. And there's no issue they'll be skirting away from.
Oh.
I can't take credit for that quality line. It was my producer. But, guys, great to have you on the show. And actually, let me start, Mike and Cheryl, by asking you, whose idea was the skirt rip in the first place?
Mine.
It came about by chance because I was always very athletic and I had really chunky, muscly thighs, where Jay was very lithe, very tiny, and she wanted to wear a short skirt. I wanted to wear a skirt to the knee. And we were going to and fro, talking about the length of the skirt. And I went, oh, for goodness sake, let's have both. And our choreographer, Chrissy Wickham, went, that's it. On the line, if you want to see some more, we ripped the top skirt off.
Fantastic. In fact, I can't watch that too often. I was watching the telly live when it happened, and so was Terry Wogan, who was commentating, and he actually said, oh, that will have cheered up some of the dads.
No, I think actually cheered up the dirty old men. That's who are really enjoying that, you know. Trust me, I know that.
Listen, I'm determined to celebrate it as one of the great moments of popular culture of the 20th century. But being serious for like a quarter of a second, do you think you would get away with a stunt like that now in these sort of very, I don't know, a culture in which people are easily offended? Would you get away with it now?
Yeah, no, I think they do much worse now, don't they? There's a lot more
it's a bit tame
flesh. There's a lot more flesh shown now.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time in the Eurovision history that something was kind of shocking that people didn't expect. Now they do it all the time. There's loads of clothes ripping, but you know, we did it first.
Well, you're quite right. Madonna walked around half naked at the best of times, Beyonce and the rest of it. Although was there an element, because the boys, I mean, I loved it, by the way. Full disclosure, I think it was a moment of creative perfection. But the imagery of a guy doing it now, do you think it would raise eyebrows? You know, the bloke removing the skirt.
Oh, I think you could say the bloke removing his trousers.
Well... I've heard you've got good legs, Mike.
Thank you very much. No, I don't think it would bother them today because it was kind of when we did it at that time, everyone sort of wow like that. Today it's completely different. I think they would they just think, oh, copycats. Look, they wouldn't take any notice to it at all.
Yeah, but with this PC world now, with everyone afraid to play boo to a goose. Well, mind you, I don't know if I have said boo to a goose, but would it be like, oh, how could they? How could the men rip the women's skirts off?
Do you know what? I'd love that. If we were doing it today and they said, how dare you rip the girls' skirts, I'd say, go away and get a life, for God's sake. It's a song and it wanted it. I'm very against all that, Cheryl. I'm sorry.
Well, there you are.
Well, Mike, I am with you 100% of the way, and I detect that many of the people watching the show completely agree with you. It was brilliant, it was unpredictable, it was bold, it was brassy, and it's a moment of national pride. I mean, we talked about the Paralympics earlier, and we were talking about the Olympics a couple of weeks ago, and you guys are, you're Great Britons yourself, and I think Bucks Fizz were just an amazing band. When you got together 2 months before the event itself, did you have any idea that you would achieve this remarkable success?
I didn't. I had done Eurovision before. I did the Eurovision in 1978 with a band called Coco. We came 11th, which was the worst the UK had ever done at that time. Of course, we became 11th now.
That'd be brilliant now.
But who was really convinced that we had a great chance of winning was this bloke here.
I mean, I was really, really so confident until the night of the contest. And I was listening, because you've been there over there a whole week rehearsed with all the other songs, some of them just started to grow on you a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then, the night of the contest, I'd really I'd lost a bit of confidence in it. But when we started doing the song, I mean, can't say it on there. When we started doing the song, we had our backs to the audience and said something to the other three. But it did help us with it, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Was it a kind of X-rated call to arms?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
It's exactly what it was.
It's the first and last time I'd ever said it.
We'll believe you. We'll believe you, Mike. And can I just say that I think one of the reasons why Bucks Fizz were fantastic, or why you were so great that night and then went on to have all those hit records, is chemistry. And you've still got it. And I can see it now, today, that it's palpable, that you just got something special when you get together.
We were very lucky because from the very first day that we met, Mike and I, we just hit it off fantastically, and we've been really close for the 40 years that we've been together.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't.
Do you want to fight about it?
All right, fight about it.
Cheryl, are you giving me... Is that an exclusive? Is this a kiss and tell?
Actually, Jay, we've been in the studio. We're in the studio currently now. We're just finishing the vocals on our new album that we're recording with Mike Stock. And
wow.
Jay today said... she said, you don't know how lucky you are. You've always had each other. And we have. We work fantastic with Jay. It's a brilliant trio, the three of us working. But Mike and I have this bond that I think that Jay wishes that she had it too. When you just get on with someone, you just do. And you can work with someone else and you've got a fantastic working relationship, but you don't have that special bond that Mike and I have.
But we do also row as well.
No, we don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to argue with you. I know we do. We have terrible rows, but we do row.
And we get over it quick.
We get over it straight away. There's no point in holding grudges and things like that. So we are like everyone else. I think we're normal in an abnormal way.
Some might disagree.
And what about, I mean, listen, I don't want to get too personal here, but I know you've both been the utmost professionals for all these years. But I think, Cheryl, privately, you held a bit of a candle for young Michael over the years.
It wasn't a bit of a candle, it was massive. I mean, listen, you've only got to look at pictures of the band back in 1981. The first time I saw Mike, he just got out of the bath. He had a towel wrapped around him. And I looked and it was perfect. So, yes, I absolutely had the hots for Mike. I was engaged to someone at the time.
Yeah.
She actually told me this. She told me. Well, no, she didn't tell me. She went on air.
I told Simon Mayo.
Yeah. And she said, there's something I want you to listen to on the radio tonight. Will you tune in? So I said, I'm on. So I said, oh, okay then. What time? She said, about 6:15. And I tuned in and she said to Simon Mayo, yeah, I've got a confession to make. I was absolutely madly in love. I think you said, in love with Mike Nolan. And I went, what's the matter with her today? Is she on drugs?
But he was beautiful. He was so beautiful. And he was funny and he was a great singer. He had everything. He ticked all the boxes for me. So, but anyway, I married my husband and I'm really happy with Steve. But I've always had a soft spot for you heartthrob.
Is Steve always around when you're together, just to be on the safe side? Does he keep a watchful eye?
No. Steve's not worried about me at all. Me and Steve we have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, they love to hate each other.
I'm not surprised. I don't blame Steve, I've got to say. You're the single biggest threat to his marriage, Mike. But as you say...
I would never dream of breaking a marriage. I'd break your marriage up, but I would never dream of breaking any other marriages up. No, I would never do that. Well,
listen, obviously, you've kept it professional all these years. And what about... after the Eurovision, because for a lot of bands, there's just like no beating that, there's no topping that. But I think what's remarkable about your story is that you went on to do more albums and have more hits. So how do you explain for that ability to kind of achieve stuff after Eurovision?
I'll put that down to Andy Hill and his writing.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with Andy. In fact, after we won the contest, our lives just weren't our own anymore because we just travelled the whole world. And every time we came back, we'd be into the studio and then we'd go off to Italy. We come back from Italy, then we were off to Spain, France. We just went all over the world. And so we didn't know anything about what was going on. And we just had singles were coming out. We were promoting them all over the world. And we just, for some reason, we were stuck doing it, but we didn't realise what we were doing, that the success that we were having.
We were just getting the call. We'd be in Australia and, right, guys, we're going to fly you home. You've got to go in the studio. You're recording the next album. You just go in. Andy Hill, who wrote 99% of our stuff, would just say, here's the song. This is how it goes. Go in the studio. It was all bang, 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 bang. And like Mike said, it was, we didn't have time to think about it. We just did what we had to do. You know, you'd have to fly back always to do Top of the Pops, and we were a real TV group because we were so visual with all the dance routines and everything, and we still do them all now. So we were on every program, and as Mike said, flying around the world. We went to all of Asia. We went to South America.
The strange thing about that, we've been all over the world. Well, I certainly been all over. I can't tell you anything about anywhere. We know I know about Australia and about Japan, New Zealand, because we were there for a long time. When you go to play at France, Austria, Germany, Finland, all places like that, you don't get to see the countries, do you?
No, you fly in, you go to the studio, you do your job, you fly back, and people go, oh, you're so lucky, you're going to Austria, and you don't see any of it. But anyway, having said that, wouldn't change a day. We've had an amazing career.
With me for the big question, the fantastic Mike Nolan and Cheryl Baker of the Fizz, of course, and formerly of Bucks Fizz. They're going on tour next month. It's going to sell out, so get your tickets right now, and we'll give the details of where you can get those tickets shortly. A lot of love for you out there from our GB News audience, guys. Alex has tweeted in, great to see Bucks Fizz still going strong. They were always much more than making your mind up. Land of Make-Believe is a timeless classic. Mark says the skirt rip-off moment during the song was the moment I realised girls were gorgeous, and I got my first girlfriend that year at 11 years old. Thank you all. So there you go. You've made Mark and perhaps many millions of men and women very, very happy. Remarkable stuff. Couple of other bits and bobs before I get to the questions. There have, of course, been creative tensions within the group over the years, haven't there? And some band members have come and gone, and that's not unusual. The Kinks, the Rolling Stones, and even, of course, Oasis have had their kind of internal politics. How was that at the time when you didn't all see eye to eye?
I think in the early days we didn't see eye to eye because we were just too crazy busy and we were getting on each other's nerves, except for me and Mike again. But in the later days, I mean, I didn't leave Bucks Fizz until December 1993 because I was pregnant. That's
11th of December.
11th of December, yeah. I left because I was pregnant and I wasn't prepared to be on the road and have babies. You know, I wanted to stay at home.
Yeah.
And Mike left about 3 or 4 years later.
No, it was about 2 years after you left. Yeah.
Things weren't great. And also, you know, every dog has its day, and we'd had this massive success in the 80s. But come the 90s, the retro thing hadn't started then. And so we were really old hat, and we were doing bingo halls and stuff like that, and I absolutely hated it.
Yes, I absolutely hated the bingo. I didn't win one game. I love him. I used to hate those gigs as well that we used to do there, because they really were like
soul destroying.
Yeah, soul destroying.
And it just wasn't nice. So it was kind of as shit. You left because you were having the twins anyway, and I quit 2 years after that. And yes, there were, you know, politics amongst members of the band, but you know, I think we've grown up so much since then. Like with Cheryl, Jay, and myself, we actually do get on. We do have differences of opinion. We have disagreements. We have arguments, but nothing. That's everyone does it. But you know, the way it was then, it worked for us. And it works for us today, but you know, I think I just don't know whether we can carry on like this, or what do we? You know what we're talking about, but we don't mention it yet.
No.
No, we can't.
But we got back together with Jay in 2008 for a television program called Pop Goes the Band, and we've been together with her ever since. And we bumped into Mike Stock from Stock Aitken and Waterman about 5 years ago, and he said, "I want to record with you." And so we're just finishing our 4th album with him. So we kind of kick-started our career sitting on the shirt tails of the revival of 80s music, which has been fantastic.
And also the albums we've done with Mike have been really, really good albums. And we found out that the last one we did, we thought, oh, it's just at the bottom of the charts. It got to number 4 and number 6 in the charts. So we didn't realise that, did we?
No.
Number 6, the album went to number 6 in the chart. So that was not last year, the year before, because there was a lockdown last year, of course, wasn't there?
Lockdown, was there?
There was. It was.
I missed it.
Was it just me on the lockdown on my own?
By the way, did you lose your fizz during lockdown?
Where I live, this is my house, and we're in the middle of a farm, and so where I live is great because there was no one around us, and we could just walk the dog every day, and so it wasn't too bad. I felt sorry though that there were people that we work with that were in flats and that were literally confined to their homes, and that must have been awful. At least here, I could get out. You could walk around, couldn't you? Because you live on the coast.
Yeah, I mean, I live down by the coast, and they say you're only allowed to go out for half an hour, and you've got to be back in, and you'll be reported. I used to go out for an hour and a half, big long walks along the beach, and that. I used to come home. And I liked it. And I know it didn't work for like 15 months. And I didn't like the reason for it, like the lockdown, this coronavirus thing and everything. It just ruined the whole world.
But you got used to it.
We just got used to it. Yeah. And in the end, I didn't want to come back to work. But we did. Obviously, we did come back. But it was... it's a very strange thing.
It takes some getting used to getting back in. And also, I saved a fortune on makeup and clothes. It was great not having to spend any money.
Yeah, you must have saved at least £1 million on Velcro, Cheryl.
No, the Velcro is dirt cheap.
Apparently, when we won the Eurovision, apparently every shop ran out of Velcro immediately because every little girl and some little boys wanted to have a Velcro skirt.
No, I just ruined my joke. I was going to say, and the girls' shops ran out of it as well.
Listen, they don't just do music; they do top gags as well. And I know that your live shows aren't just brilliantly performed. And you and Jay and Mike are 3 fantastic vocalists in your own right. But also there's fun as well and top banter, and I'm well aware of that. I can tell our audience that if you want to buy tickets to see The Fizz, which, as far as I'm concerned, is Bucks Fizz, but they are The Fizz. And the website is thefizzofficial.com. So go and get your tickets right now. Clock's against us, guys, so let's power through some brilliant viewer questions. Here's one, and it comes from Benny on Twitter. Hello, Benny. Thanks for your question. Should Eurovision be replaced with a worldwide singing contest?
Yeah, you've got a point. You have a point because it isn't just European anymore, is it? So you've actually said this before.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because Eurovision it's on for like 4 hours on a Saturday night. It's great to watch. It is really good to watch. But I just think when we did, there were 26 countries in it. Now there's 40 countries, and it's brought down to 26. Whereas rather than have a Eurovision Song Contest, they just have a world contest.
Exactly.
And it could go on for 3 weeks instead of 3 hours.
That's a great idea. I love that. Poor old Graham Norton, he'd run out of steam, wouldn't he? But I think a global competition is a great idea. Another great question from Charlie on Twitter. Will the UK ever win Eurovision again? And if not, is there any point us still competing?
Well, now we've got different opinions on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely we should keep competing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who was it who won this year? Italy. Right. Italy, and the year before was Portugal. Portugal had never won before, so they've been doing it all these years, all these decades, and they won last year for the first time. So we can't win ever. I guess we were lucky to have won 5 times. But yeah, no, I think we should keep in it. I think it's a fantastic showcase of brilliant music and lots of fun, and it brings countries together for one day of the year. And I think we should not pull out of it, absolutely, whether we're going to win again or not.
I don't think we'll ever win again. I tell you what, I don't think we'll win. One, I think our songs aren't that good in it at the moment. They need to change the kind of songs. They need to put in today's songs, not songs that are they're just not good songs. And I don't think we'll ever win. And the reason I don't think we'll ever win is I think it's too political. It really is. That's what it's about. And now that we're not part of Europe anymore, we don't stand a chance in hell.
We are part of Europe.
No, we're not really, because we're
not
on
in
our
the
own.
EU.
Oh, the EU. Yes, you're right. But we are still out of it on our own. Don't argue with me.
I love it when they fight. It's perfect. Listen, here's another really good question. It's a very, very fun question, and it comes from Gareth. Gareth has written in on email. Who would make the best fourth member of the Fizz? Boris Johnson, Keir Starmer, or Nigel Farage?
All three of them should be in take our place.
It would only be Boris because he's got the right colour hair. That's the only reason. The criteria to be in Bucks Fizz was you had to be short and blonde, and you had to be able to sing a bit, because we all had to match Mike Nolan.
Hang on, not that I was short. I was just a little bit smaller than tall guys. That's all it means.
We all had to be short.
Do you think, though, that maybe if Boris was the fourth member, you could glue the skirt onto his body so that no one tears it off?
You have a point. Actually, thinking about it, Boris would be too tall, wouldn't he? And he might be a bit stuttery.
I know.
Oh, we can't have him. No, we'll change our mind. We can't have Boris.
No, let's go for the labour fella. What's his name?
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, that's him. He's a good one.
We'll give him a try.
There you go. Boris is a man of many qualities, but I don't think we want to see his legs, but that's just my opinion. Finally, and we've just got a few seconds, but I do like this question from Gareth, and it's a follow-up from his previous question. What is the thing that you are both most grateful for that being in Bucks Fizz has brought you?
A complete change of life. Gave us everything. Gave me my home, gave me my husband, gave me my children, gave me everything that I am now. Eurovision did that for me. What about you?
I'm just winning Eurovision. I think that's the highlight of my life, winning Eurovision. Yeah. That was definitely the highlight of my life. It took us off, and I've never looked back on that. And people do actually give us sometimes, not very often now, used to give us a hard time. Well, what do you do Eurovision for? But if there was no Eurovision, there'd be no Bucks Fizz. And you say that to people, and they say, exactly, it's got a lot to answer for.
Listen, 50 million records. You have given me and millions of people in this country unadulterated joy. You guys are the real deal. There's a lot more to you than just Eurovision. Can I congratulate you on your career? Urge people to go and buy tickets. And please come and see us in the studio next time, and we'll have a proper reunion. And bring Jay as well, of course, a wonderful lady. I've gigged with her a couple of times. Mike and Cheryl, God bless you. Once again, the tickets for The Fizz. Just go to thefizzofficial.com/tour and see you soon. Thank you, guys. Absolutely love that.
Take care, everyone.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.